Hello and welcome to our brand new episode of Nile Article. My name is Ahmed Nader, and tonight we're going to focus on the Egyptian-African bilateral ties and how they have been strengthened under the tenure of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and more specifically for today, President al-Sisi receiving in the New Alamein city his counterpart from Madagascar, Michael Randrianirina, and we will be shedding more light on those important bilateral ties on the political and the economic levels, how they will be affecting the whole African picture on different fields and in different aspects and perspectives as well. So stay tuned.
The Sinai Peninsula has long stood at the crossroads of history, geography, and national ambition, a land of strategic importance that bridges continents and cultures. In recent years, the Egyptian government has embarked on an unprecedented transformation of this vast region, elevating it from peripheral status to a centerpiece of national development. Stretching from the Mediterranean coast in the north to the Gulf of Aqaba in the south, Sinai today is experiencing a sweeping wave of investment and infrastructural growth designed to improve the quality of life, unlock economic potential, and integrate its communities more fully into the national fabric. At the heart of this transformation is a major infusion of public investment. Under the 2025-26 National Development Plan, 10 billion Egyptian pounds has been allocated specifically for Sinai's development, targeting critical sectors such as agriculture, water and sanitation, health and education across both North and South Sinai governorates. North Sinai is slated to receive 6.6 billion Egyptian pounds with a strong focus on expanding agricultural land, improving healthcare services, and upgrading essential construction projects. Meanwhile, South Sinai is set to benefit from 3.6 billion Egyptian pounds aimed at strengthening transportation networks, enhancing water infrastructure, and improving educational and medical facilities. One flagship initiative underway is the Egypt Services Center in Arish, which will offer more than 150 government services in one location, streamlining access for residents and supporting administrative efficiency. Water security and sanitation have been central pillars of Sinai's development agenda. Decades of underinvestment left many towns and villages without reliable access to clean water or efficient wastewater treatment, but this is changing. Drinking water coverage across the peninsula has risen to 96.5% in 2025, up from just 84.4% in 2014. Meanwhile, sanitation connectivity has climbed to 78% from a mere 17.3% just a decade ago. These gains reflect extensive upgrades to water networks and the completion of major treatment facilities such as the Bahr al-Bakr plant, which treats millions of cubic meters of water daily for reuse in agriculture and irrigation. Additional desalination plants in cities like Atur are expanding potable water supplies for communities previously underserved by traditional systems. A hallmark of Sinai's development strategy is its integrated cluster model aimed at creating self-sustaining communities where residents can live, work, and thrive. By late 2025, the government had completed 18 integrated development clusters across the peninsula. Each cluster combines housing units, schools, health centers, commercial spaces, and agricultural land, fostering economic opportunity and social cohesion. These clusters not only bring essential services closer to residents, but also generate new jobs, support local entrepreneurship, and enhance the economic resilience of historically marginalized areas. Agriculture and land reclamation have also received renewed attention. In South Sinai, a cooperation protocol was signed to finance 40 agricultural projects, part of a broader effort to harness desert and plain lands for productive use. The NAMA initiative supports farmers with microfinance, technical training, and modern farming practices that boost productivity and income, whilst empowering rural families, especially women, to play an active role in the local economy. The development push in Sinai is more than infrastructure and utilities. It is about reshaping the socio-economic landscape of a region with immense potential. As investments continue to flow into roads, water systems, healthcare facilities, education, and community hubs, Sinai is steadily becoming a more livable, connected, and prosperous part of Egypt. These achievements reflect a long-term national commitment to balance regional growth and inclusive development, transforming Sinai into a model of sustainable progress in the 21st century.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Nile article, and we will be starting straight away with the main top story for today, which comes from the presidential activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the phone call being conducted between the leader of Egypt and the King of Jordan, Abdullah II. As Cairo and Amman stand united, Egypt and Jordan reinforced a common vision for the regional stability. In the reaffirmation of the strategic partnership between Egypt and Jordan, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi conducted a phone conversation with King Abdullah II, emphasizing that Jordan's security is an integral part of Egypt's national security. President al-Sisi strongly condemned the recent Iranian attacks targeting Jordan and the other sisterly states, reiterating Egypt's full support for the measures taken by the Jordanian leadership to safeguard the kingdom's sovereignty and stability. The two leaders also stressed the urgency of de-escalating the regional tensions through the political solutions, while reaffirming the shared commitment to the two-state solution, rejecting the Israeli escalation in the West Bank and supporting the Hashemite custodianship over Jerusalem's holy sites. And to be shedding more light on the bilateral relations between Egypt and Jordan, especially after the phone call conducted for today between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Jordanian King Abdullah II, I'm honored to be having with me over the phone Mr. Mohamed Salah, the political affairs researcher. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International and Nile Oracle.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Ahmed, for your hospitality. I'd like to say good evening for you and for your kind and respectable viewers, hoping to have a productive and informative discussion regarding your topic today.
Anytime. First of all, we have seen the phone call being conducted between the leaders of Egypt and Jordan. How do you see the importance of the timing of such a phone conversation?
What I would like to say is that such phone calls is not an ordinary action taken by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi or an ordinary action or an ordinary call. We're speaking about a phone call that's being conducted in a very sensitive time, not only for Egypt and Jordan, but also for all the Middle East, because of all the actions and all the tensions, all the violence that's happening now in the Middle East. We have lots of violence, lots of tensions in many countries in our region. Especially when we are talking about Palestinian issue, we have lots of violence in Gaza Strip. Although we have a peaceful solution to end up this problem, but I see that Israeli side. Israelis are not committed to end up or to say that they will go on with this treatment. We have another violence that's arise in the West Bank, occupied West Bank, and at the same time we have a third wave of the Iranian-American war. We have lots of missile attacks and drones attacks against Jordan and against Kuwait, against Bahrain from the Iranian side and from the Iranian side. So we have lots of tension that should be that the relations between Egypt and not only with Jordan but with all the Arab nations that are suffering now from these actions should be highlighted and should be said in a high level talks that Egypt is supporting the sovereignty of all the Arab countries, that Egypt is supporting the national security of our brothers in all Arab region, whether we're talking about the Gulf countries, about Jordan, about Palestine, about Lebanon, about Syria, about Libya, Tunisia, Sudan. All of our neighbors, all of our Arab brothers are suffering now from the same actions or the same waves of violence and military actions, and should be condemned by the Egyptian administration on its highest level, which is represented by President Abdel Fattah.
Mr. Mohamed Salah, how would you assess the depth of the Egyptian-Jordanian strategic relations right now under the tenures of both leaders, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Jordanian King Abdullah II, and the role of those bilateral ties in terms of preserving security and stability in the region?
When we are talking about the Egyptian and Jordanian relationships, we are speaking about a very strong and a very historical ties between both sides. Egypt and Jordan are expected to be the ones who are defending the Palestinian issue. Both countries are defending the Palestinian state rights and the right of the Palestinians to declare their nations or their Palestinian nation or Palestinian country. They have the same concerns regarding the importance of liberating West Bank, of liberating Gaza Strip, or having the Arab lands based on two-state solutions. They have the same concerns regarding having a strong and stable system in Syria and in Lebanon, in Sham in general. They have the same concerns regarding serving the Egyptians, serving the Arab countries in the Middle East. Have the same concerns also regarding having what's called diplomatic solutions, or it's with producing solutions for all the problems, for all the issues and struggles in the Middle East throughout diplomatic discussions to reach a peaceful solution, which will give the people of the Middle East the right to exist and right to gain the fruits of development on its all levels. So I'd like to say that Egypt and Jordan have lots of shared concerns regarding the international and the regional issues. In particular, they are concentrating more on the Palestinian issue as it's the major issue for all the Arab countries, and especially for both countries, for Egypt and for Jordan at the same time.
Yes, and speaking about the regional issues and regarding the war that was waged by the United States and Israel against Iran, we can see the skirmishes of the war. They are still ongoing regarding the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and the reopening it for the transit of ships ever since the month of February. And today we have seen during the phone call between President Sisi and the Jordanian king the importance of depending on the political solution, something that President Sisi has mentioned one time after the other. How do you see the importance of the agenda of Egypt, the approach of Egypt in terms of the political and the diplomatic approach of the country when it comes to the international, the global, and the regional issues?
I think that the approach of the Egyptian policy or outside Egypt, or foreign policy adopted by Egypt, is very clear, and let's say that it's prominent and it's stable for many times, which is depending on respecting each other. This is the first, ending all the war actions between all sides, trying to have diplomatic solutions in order to solve all the problems. And I think that these main, and the fourth is depending on the international law as a base to reach a solution or reach a compromise between all the parties. But I'd like to say that we are in a very sensitive way, we are in a very bad way, which is needed to think more about the coming step on the Iranian-American struggle. As I see that we are very, very near for a very dramatic action that could be taken at the end of this week by the American soldiers or by the American forces. We have to think more about what will be reached by adopting or by more escalations on this way. What are the benefits that will be gained by both sides? Especially, I don't know, or all the world in general don't find any certain goal for any action that is taken by both sides. I don't understand what are the goals of America, for America to come back to strikes against Iran, and what are the goals of the Iranians to restrike or to regaining striking or attacking the Gulf countries and Jordan. we'll find that we are going or moving slowly to the scenario of chaos in the Middle East in general. We are moving towards the regional war or the big war that's happening or taking part in the Middle East. Lastly, we have lots of interference comes from Ukrainian government also. We have listened a lot about the Ukrainian interference in the war between America and Iran. So all of these actions do not give me the ability to see good things in the future or to be optimistic about what will happen in the Middle East. Let's say that it's a very sensitive period of time. It could be counted to be a turning point on this war. Even if we don't have a diplomatic solution, if we hadn't go back to negotiations between both sides and to keep the ceasefire treatment between them alive, we'll have a very dramatic problems and very dramatic actions will be taken at the end of this week.
Mr. Mohamed Salah, the political affairs researcher, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile Article.